All right, my wonderful wife just dropped me off at the southern terminus of the Knobstone Trail. I am setting off for 4 days of hiking at the end of December. And it is not snowing, luckily. Yeah, not snowing. This is gonna be fun. I originally was gonna go down to Land Between the Lakes and do a hike down there, but the logistics proved a bit much to do last minute. So instead, I figured I would knock out the Little AT, which is the Knobstone's nickname here in Indiana, especially since it's this close to home. Left early this morning, way before sunrise, and stopped at 2 points along the way to drop off water because there's not much flowing water this time of year on the trail. So I will walk to those water points in the next couple of days and be able to refill. And I'm gonna go ahead and get hiking because I'm a little cold. On the drive down here, the scenery was amazing and the hills were intense, so I'm sure I will warm up very quickly here. Here we go. Mile 0. The trail goes that way. Let's do it. Here's Deem Lake. Trail takes you right into the open here, where it's quite windy this morning. And there's this weird icy stuff falling from the skies, but I insist that it is not snowing. It's a balmy 37, and the sun will be intermittent throughout the day. I'll be nice and warm. It's gonna be great. Gonna be great. All right, day 1 is in the books. At least the hiking portion. Still got to set up camp. That was intense. There's some serious hills on this trail. I did expect it. That's one thing to expect it, another to live it. But it was fantastic. The views were incredible, as you'll see in my footage. Just a spectacular day. I got a little over 11 miles, and that's good for day 1. That was my plan, and at one point I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do some more, but I'm good. Even if I were to just do 11 miles a day with one of them, I guess a little bit more, I'd get it done, but I'm gonna try to push and do at least 14 tomorrow. So I should get a much earlier start though, since I'm waking up here. Right after mile marker 11, I guess about half mile after mile marker 11, I came across this area here. That's the trail, goes through there. But I looked over and there's this nice little campsite here. Somebody's already stacked some firewood. I don't plan to have a fire tonight because I'd rather just stay in my warm tent. It's pretty breezy and temperatures are going to get down to 20 degrees. So I'm going to stay in my sleeping bag and stay warm. But there's already some cleared areas. So this one, I'm going to put up my tent. And looking around, there's clearly been some wind damage here, lots of trees down. So I was looking at this guy. He's being held up by the trees around him, and he's definitely ready to go. But I think he'd have to do some real tricky work to actually land where I'm going to set up. And I got this nice beech tree here blocking him. And my last name is Bookwalter, which some form of German translates into beech tree, so it seemed appropriate. But I'm getting cold, so I'm gonna set up and get some food in me, read a bit, and hit the hay. It's gonna be dark here in the next hour or so, which is only like 5 o'clock, but when you're tired enough, you can sleep 12 to 15 hours, hopefully. If not, I'll read some more. It'll be good. All right, I'm gonna get to it. All right, got my camp all set up. Here's the tent. The Nemo Hornet Elite Osmo tent. This thing is amazing. Pretty easy to set up. Weighs less than 2 pounds. It's amazingly thin, and I did not think it would block so much wind, but as soon as I crawled in there, I felt the difference. So I'm very grateful for that because it is getting cold out here. Fortunately, the forecast tomorrow shows full sun, at least in the morning through mid-afternoon. So I'm really hoping for that because it's going to be 20 degrees when I wake up. But in the sun, it's a lot better. Okay, I'm gonna crawl in and get some sleep probably. All right, it is 8:44 and I got really cold for a bit. The wind was whipping through over 20 miles per hour, which isn't crazy fast, but when it's this cold, it was noticeable. So I got my tent set up and I crawled in here and put everything on and crawled into my sleeping bag and tried to get warm, which actually did work. As always, I have to go to the bathroom, so I got up and did that, and I realized that I'm not near as cold anymore. So I just boiled some water and had that, which is good, just to have something warm and hydrated at the same time. I was watching some shows on my phone, deep within my sleeping bag, and I'll probably do that some more here in a bit. But I think I'm going to read a little bit and try to stay up for another couple hours so I can actually sleep tonight. It's weird, especially in winter, it gets dark so early that you just want to crawl into bed and go to sleep, but it's like 16 hours before the sun comes up, so it's difficult to sleep that long out in a tent on a sleeping pad. I hope it gets easier. I think it will, especially on the AT when I'm doing it night after night. But this is night 1 of 3 on this trip. When I first got in my tent, I was thinking, well, if I do at least 18 more miles tomorrow and the next day, maybe I can get it done in 2 days and only have 1 more overnight, just because it was so miserable. But we'll see. It's going to be about the same tomorrow night, but then it's going to start warming up the next day. So I'm not entirely miserable. I'm definitely cold, but this is manageable, and I'm pretty motivated and stoked that I was able to kind of come out of that misery. yeah. So tomorrow's another full day of hiking. The plan is to hike a lot further than I did today. So I did 11 miles today, like 11 and a half miles. And tomorrow I would like to do at least 14. So depends on what the elevation does. But if there's anything like today, that'll be a challenge for sure. But the wind has calmed down, fortunately. A few gusts come through every now and then still, but I think just the wind calming down has changed everything. And according to the forecast, it looks like it's going to get down to basically nothing by morning, which is awesome. It has been snowing since I've been laying here, and when I got out to use the bathroom, there's snow all around the tent, which may be helping insulate, who knows. But for what it's worth, I'm happy to be here, and very grateful and blessed to be able to do this. Good morning. It is, what day is it? It's only the second day, but oh, I guess it'd be Tuesday. 20 degrees out, and it's a little cold this morning, but I got through the night pretty well actually. Once I really bundled up, I got some good sleep, and just managed to make it through pretty comfortably as well. I always bring a pillow, which may seem a bit unnecessary with the weight, but I think it's worth it. I really enjoy having it. So I'm up. I just made some coffee that I'm enjoying. Having something hot first thing in the morning on a cold day like this makes all the difference. Now I'm heating up water for some oatmeal that I'm gonna have. And I put brownie mix in it. Pack in a couple extra calories here to get me going. Looks like water's pretty much done. Just starting to boil. Let that rest a minute. Looks like the... So I'm gonna eat this food, drink this coffee, and get dressed and get on trail, pack up. Pack up will probably take a little bit. My hands aren't gonna work that great in this cold, but we'll get through it. I have a water point about 2 miles down trail. I have about this much water left to get there, which will be fine. Between the fluids I've drank this morning and last night, I should be just fine. And I have a gallon waiting on me, so I'll probably save this water to drink, and once I get there, fill up both of my liter water bottles and then use the rest of the gallon to clean my bowls and stuff from breakfast this morning. That way I'm not wasting any water in the meantime, in case something happens along trail. So I feeling pretty motivated today. It's just nice to be in the daylight again, and I'm excited to get started. On the trail now, and already getting some just incredible views. Absolutely gorgeous and crazy steep. I fully suspect that I'll be going down this hill further up that way, but that's part of it. It is the Knobstone Trail, which means lots of ups and downs. The snow on the ground is much better today. As it was falling yesterday, it was super wet and made everything extremely slick. So hopefully today it stays a little bit frozen like it is, and I'll have better traction going down some of these steep hills. But just take it slow and all will be well. All right, I'm gonna keep pushing on. Made it to my first water point. I stopped here on the way down yesterday. Stopped here in one other place to stash a gallon of water, I think I told you about. And fortunately, well, when I picked it up, it was solid ice, or so I thought, but it's actually, it just had the very outside of it as ice. So I will actually be able to refill my water bottles and not have to carry a giant jug of ice around until it melted. So, beautiful morning. Absolutely beautiful. I'm already in shorts and got my sleeves up and a little unbuttoned here. Took off the beanie, put on my hat. It's a good day. Want to keep hiking so I don't get too cold. Refill my water. Drink the rest of the water that's left in that gallon. Clean my dishes with it as well. Strap it to my bag to pack it out and keep going. All right, 20 miles in, about 20 and a half. And I'm gonna take some time here to eat some lunch, take a break. I need to take off my shoes for a minute, let my feet rebound or whatever they're gonna do. Left foot's starting to hurt quite a bit, but it's all part of it. Good training. Yeah, so I'm gonna eat some food and then I hope to get I'd like to get another 10 miles today. That'd be cool. That'd make tomorrow's miles not that much. I could do even just 10 and then only have 10 left to do the last day. So we'll see. Since it gets dark so early, I was thinking while I was walking that rather than rush in trying to get set up camp before the sun sets, which is like in the woods, it's more like 4:30, 4:45, it's just dark around here. I'm just gonna push through, keep hiking, because all I do is I end up laying in my tent for 5 hours until my body and mind get tired enough to fall asleep. I might as well spend that time hiking. I have a headlamp, I don't mind hiking at night. I got plenty of warm gear to put on if I get cold, but usually when I'm moving, I'm fine. So I think I'll hike a little bit later today and then set up after the sun sets somewhere. And then get some sleep, and I'll be more ready to sleep at that point. That'd be nice. All right, well, I'm gonna eat and get back on trail. All right, well, that's the sunset over the tree line. It was really cool to be able to watch the sun in the line of the shade go all the way across there. That was something. I can't even tell how far I can see. It's a long way. If it were warmer out, I would pitch a tent right here and wake up to a sunrise over there. But the wind's picking up on this hilltop, and I just think that would be a pretty uncomfortable night. So I'm almost to mile marker 27, and I'm gonna keep going. Gonna try to get to over 30 today. If so, then actually I could finish tomorrow and not Thursday. I don't mind being out here, but getting it done early is okay too. So that being said, I'm gonna eat a little food, grab my headlamp, put on another layer, and get hiking. Good morning. It was a pretty good night. I kept hiking well into the dark hours and set up. Got some good sleep. I just had some coffee and some breakfast, some oatmeal with brownie mix mixed in. Pretty good. And I ended up camping up here on top of a ridge, which is fairly windy this morning, but it's okay. Guess it's worth that view. Sun should be up in the next 10 minutes or so, up enough to get above the tree line. Look what's peeping out. There it is. Morning sunshine. You are a welcome presence, my friend. That means it's time to get hiking. I'll tell you, today's trail is intense. This last one is about the 4th in a row, and I know I got more coming. But the funny thing here is, as I crested the hill, I look ahead and see a chair. Someone knew that you would need a seat right after you climb that hill. I don't know how that got here, but it is a welcome sight. I'm not gonna sit in it. There's a log here, but I think I'm just gonna keep walking. So I got more to do, and it's easier to walk off the hill sit and bask in it. All right, onward I go. Here we are, the last 10 miles. Mile 40. Started at mile 29 this morning. About 10 to go. It's 3:48, which means it's going to be dark in the next 2 hours. So 10 miles. It'll take me about a little over 3 hours probably to get there, so I'll be finishing in the dark. That's all right. I always have the option of camping too. We'll see. I'm motivated though, and I think I'm gonna finish off. Back to it. All right, well, I finished the Knobstone Trail. I'm at Delaney Park, and it's dark out, so I have my truck to shine light on the trailhead sign here. Yeah, I hiked into the night a little bit here, but I got it done, and yeah, I'm beat. I'm gonna get home. I'm pretty tired. I think I'll go home now.